April 25th, 2022, March 4th. To order. Please join me in a salute for our flag there. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Roll call to my right. John Bear. Kent Gross.
I keep leaving that election of officers on there, and it needs to come off.
It needs to come off.
It needs to come off.
Okay.
Supposed to
Like
be.
again, anyway.
I know he's president.
I know he's president. All righty. Minutes from the previous meeting.
I did review the minutes, so didn't have any notes to that.
All right.
Good, I'll move to approve the February 28th.
All right. Yeah, we didn't have much.
Yeah, we didn't have much.
I move to approve the meeting minutes from our February 28th, 2022 meeting as presented.
All right, I'll second that. Any other updates there? Seeing none, those in favor saying aye. 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 Motion passes 2-0. Old business items there. Anything for old business there, Joe?
No old business.
All righty, old business, moving on to new business then. All right, we got two things now. What's the world coming to?
We're catching up with the
We're
rest of the
catching up
world.
with the rest of the world.
I believe I pulled up the wrong station. Yeah. I threw this together. We have more presentation. There we go. Okay. Yeah, this came together kind of late this afternoon, so you're gonna have to forgive my docket number. First item of new business is actually encroachment request 2977-2022. This is located at 3839 Hoosier Down Drive, which is lot 102 in South Club South, Section 2. Petitioner is asking for a fence encroachment into the rear yard drainage and utility easement. We did receive letters of no conflict from all the utilities. There is a storm line existing in that rear yard easement. On the third page of your staff report, you can see the profile of that storm section. It's an 18-inch concrete pipe, anywhere between 8 to 10 feet in depth. Staff does not believe this is going to be a conflict with the installation of the house. However, in these instances, we do ask for a recorded encroachment agreement. There's a copy of that agreement included in your packets, provided to property owners, Mr. and Mrs. Frampton. They're agreeable. We're just looking for your approval tonight. And of course, the property owners are here if you have any questions.
No, I think, once again, it's just one of those things that I understand that, if they have to put in landscaping back there or what have you there, if we have to get back in there and replace that pipe, it'd be, their expenses and stuff like that, so. That's all, as long as I understand that, as long as that's kind of, should be kind of, some,
If you did look at their packet
yeah.
online, in the link I sent, they did include a picture of a really adorable dog.
I just see that.
Certainly helps.
I'm okay with it there.
I will make a motion to approve encroachment number, or the encroachment request, number 002977-2022, as presented, under the condition that an encroachment agreement is executed.
I will second that. So I got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion passes 2-0. You're good to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If you want to swing by the office tomorrow, we can have you sign it, and Sarah in our office is a notary, so she can notarize it.
Very good. Thank you.
Perfect. All right, next item of new business is a waiver request for Development Plan 356-2021, which is Kepler Park. They're requesting a waiver to Chapter 1, Section B5 of the drainage manual, which requires structures to be a minimum of 2 foot above the flood elevation. We do have folks from Crossroad here with the presentation.
Down there, you got it. Good evening, everyone. My name is Morgan Spera. I work with Crossroad Engineers. I'm here on behalf of the Town of Bargersville for a park project. For reference, this project is located in the northwest section of Bargersville, more specifically at the intersection of South Club Road and County Road 144, in that northeast quadrant over there. Existing conditions, we have some cultivated parklands along with woods along the northern portion of the parcel. And here you can see our proposed layout. I will orient us. North is to your right. And in that circle over there, you'll see a splash pad and playground area. Moving south, there are pickleball courts. West of that is lawn area with a restroom right adjacent to it. And south of that is ample parking for all of your park goers, along with landscape islands that will be part of our water quality, which are infiltration basins. And those outlet to our proposed dry detention basin, kind of following that County Road 144 geometry, which outlets to a paved side ditch along County Road 144, which you'll see right here. We also have a pathway kind of parallel to County Road 144. Due to this area being so flat, that was part of the reason we did that paved side ditch. And you'll see the entrances into the park here, drainage for those, just some pipe culverts. And that paved side ditch actually goes all the way up South Club Road to a 15-inch pipe culvert, which is our end outlet. And that paved side ditch actually goes all the way to the northern part of that parcel to aid in the flat drainage that we were discussing earlier. So the waiver request for the minimum flood protection grade, that is supposed to be, according to the Bargersville Drainage Manual, 2 foot. In a entirely clogged system of the water surface elevation of, and you'll see that red circle right there, that's our structure in question, is just below 1.5 feet from the finished floor elevation of our restroom, which is kind of over to the west over there. In an entirely clogged condition, the site drains to the south. It is not going to go over to the restroom, but this is a restroom with outlet protection. Everything will be above that 2 foot requirement. It's just that finished floor elevation is within that. So that is okay. And I will end it on that and ask if there are any questions.
I just also want to mention that the style of the restroom is kind of the industrial style. So just for maintenance purposes, because the parks department's going to take care of it. And so if it were to flood for some reason, it's not going to damage anything. Everything's not only up off the floor, but just concrete floors, stainless steel, fixtures, so pretty
Nothing
industrial.
wood and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm assuming I'm assuming the site would drain within a given period of time as well.
Yeah. Yeah, in a total flood situation, yeah, we would, and that, as she said, it's gonna kind of drain out towards the road.
So this drains out to the south here, right?
Mhm.
So you're gonna need just some retention back at these islands right there,
Yes,
right? From that parking lot. You've got further detention here.
It actually drains, you were pointing that way, it drains, but it actually drains that way
So you're gonna,
on the sheet, and then then it goes underneath the drive along a paved side ditch that heads up to Saddle
and
Park.
then
Yeah.
it's going up.
And then turns, and that's how we're building that paved side ditch all the way to the culvert that heads west under Saddle.
Yes.
You driving water west off, over across Saddle Club, where's it gonna go from there?
It heads over to, it heads in a ditch there to that pond, and then it heads west from there.
That pond, it's not, I don't know if that's gonna handle any more water than it already received.
Well, we actually detaining water. So all this goes there now, we're actually detaining it, and
So it should slow it down.
Yeah.
it will slow it down from going. So we're actually, we are still doing by the code drainage that the town has. The part that we're not doing is we're not elevating that restroom
Yeah, I
above.
downloaded the drainage manual, I've read it completely, so I understand what you're
Yeah,
saying.
we are following all that.
Okay.
I have a question. When is this project supposed, to be finished?
We hope by the end of the year, but probably more like next spring. But all the infrastructure should be set up, and they might just have some temperature sensitive things to finish next
It'd be
year.
tough to work in those woods right now too, because that is really just a swamp, you know.
The woods we're not touching.
Yeah,
This is all
yeah,
this
it's
is
all
all the
field.
pasture area.
Out in the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only the pasture area that we're doing.
Yeah.
And it is building up. It's building up, compared to the pasture you would see right now. The splash pad and the parking lot and all that are up somewhere between 2 and 3 feet.
Yeah, it
Off the
varies,
ground.
2 to 3 feet, yeah.
Joe, you said, it looks like American Structure Point evaluated this.
Yeah.
And you feel they meet all of the decision criteria, or they felt that they met all the decision criteria for this.
Yeah, as far as the waiver request, I believe so. The design of it, we've all seen it, a park, restroom. Even if it does flood, I don't think it's gonna cause any damage to the block building with concrete floor.
And any comments that American Structure Point had, we have revised and implemented into our design, so.
Yeah, and that's the premise of my question about it draining within, whatever given period of time is, I would assume that if it's raining that hard, people probably aren't playing at the park, but if it stops raining, they'll want to come out at some point. It takes 2 days to drain versus, a few hours, obviously that makes a big difference, so.
This whole area has its challenges
Well, yeah, that's what.
and being flat, and so nothing drains very quickly.
Well, as a rule, most people that create parks use unusable land, as for the most part. You go to most cities, with the land that they use for parks is generally unusable for anything else.
So that's the low point then, so the splash pad, all that stuff, the pickleball courts are kind of a little
Yes.
higher than that?
Yes, so the entire site is actually raised and we were kind of fixed by that pipe culvert under
Yeah.
Saddle Club, so did what we could, but our low point is in that dry detention basin and everything does flow towards it. It's kind of all tilted, so
Yes.
everything goes that way.
What about the runoff from the woods and stuff? Is that gonna be?
The contours of that woods actually goes back the other direction.
This comes, slopes back, so it's going back, draining back.
It's all pretty flat, like you
Yeah.
said, it's kind of just a flat area.
So, yeah.
What flow it does have, it kind of goes to the west, southwest, and then there's
Yeah.
a break point and it actually falls to the north.
You're not catching a lot of
Runoff from that area.
No, and we do still have a grass area that's part of that big grass area that we're not doing anything to. It's kind of right behind where the building is, off off to it'd be the northwest right there. There's an open kind of area, yeah, right there, that we're not developing. And so that's gonna stay at the grade that it was, down low.
Yeah.
And
And we have some notes on here for, I guess those outer edges of our limits, grade to drain, in order to get everything towards, that 15-inch pipe culvert.
And on the east side of the property, which is the bottom of the sheet, that's all gonna be graded to drain back to the south, toward to 144, and then via the culverts that are underneath the entrances, head back to where our outlet's heading.
Roy, anybody? Any
I wasn't the reviewer on this one.
Is there any other questions you might have right off the bat there that we might not be thinking about? I just, like I said, drainage is a big one to be there, so I know
It's a flat side,
yep, it's a very much
Sure.
there.
process has some challenges.
So we're okay with this draining back up along 144.
I guess one question, when you're looking at that flooding situation and completely clogged, my assumption would be is that it would top 144 before it got into this structure.
It has stopped 144 in the past, pretty severely.
That's just.
It probably would. It has.
I mean, so far as release goes,
Might be a little higher.
you're only talking about the
Yes.
structure itself and the concern about that. That's what your waiver is.
Yes.
So without going through all the cows, but saying it's gonna cross over and, flood out the whole area before it actually gets into the structure. We're looking at an emergency release, which is what we would usually have, some analysis of where does the emergency release go?
Yeah.
It's gonna go where? Well, I think there's plenty of area that's gonna be releasing. As long as the road is lower than this structure,
Yeah,
you're gonna have a serious flood situation. It's still not gonna get into the structure, I guess is what I'm
It's gonna
understanding.
go to the north and the west along the road. And the ditches that were built on the other side of the road with that subdivision.
So sometimes there's discussion in our manual about, is it really necessary at 2 foot above the flood elevation? And even in some of the discussions, I think we may have, as far as our new ordinances go, there are other entities that have a 1 foot elevation for certain purposes and 2 foot. So there's, again, there's some differentiation between that, just so you guys can understand what kind of goes along with that 2 foot elevation, safety factor.
And that's it. Okay, well,
You're good.
like I said,
I know, at one time they had mentioned about putting a roundabout there at the end of Saddle Club Road and 144 when they reconstructed it last summer. And the traffic flow has gotten a lot heavier since then.
I know that is still in the plans. Julie, any date thoughts on that project? 5 years, 10 years?
It just depends on funding.
Okay, I was wondering if it was still being discussed or just a thought.
Yeah, so, when we did the road impact fee, it was one of the top 3 priorities.
Mm-hmm.
And so, those projects will be completed as funding is available.
Okay, well, I didn't know, it's because this construction is like right at that intersection, so.
Yeah, we,
Okay,
took into account, kind of a preliminary design of what a roundabout would be so that we aren't going to interfere with what that would be.
Okay.
And I do think when that happens, that drainage in the area can be improved. Because I think you can use, they might have to do some tension within the roundabout itself, but you could use the deeper outlet pipes to go into that subdivision potentially and route that way versus what it's trying to do now, which is going along some very flat ditches up along 144. So you just don't have a fall. And I think when you do that and reconstruct that whole area and put in a storm system for the roundabout, that can be rectified. It just may have to come with some detention, in-line pipe detention with the roundabout itself.
Okay. Hmm.
I think that's, like I said, I think we're gonna be holding water back there for a little longer than what it typically is now, so hopefully we'll eliminate some of those issues in the past.
I will make a motion to approve waiver request for DEV 000-356-21 as presumed.
I will second that, so I got a motion and a second there to approve waiver request DEV-000-356-2021. Any further discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion passes 2-0.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
If I like to stand on his part, I would do that on my thoughts. I don't want to.
All right, moving on.
Moving on,
Discussion items.
no real discussion items on the agenda this evening. We got some project status, just checking in. What I didn't list that you'll see in your claims is the Wheatgrass project. Talked about that on my road, it's been complete. Folks over there are very happy with the results so far.
That's good.
So you'll see the assortment of receipts
For that.
from various hardware stores and utility supply in that project. But it came in right with everything as far as the cost wise. Labor helped out with the salt. I have to drive by last month, we had 3-inch rain overnight. There was some water standing, but not near what it was.
Designer. And you have
Well,
some design efforts in that too.
more or less to pinpoint where we want to get it, but Brian and the crew,
I think that was,
they more or less were, doing what needed to be done out there. Found some different situations, found some tile, found some things that they were able to connect up. I think that helped too, Joe, right?
yeah, they were actually able to find some open linear drain and clean that out, which helped the situation.
I'll send our kudos and appreciation
Yeah.
to Brian. Yes.
Absolutely, they did a great job out there. So as far as they're actually on the agenda, did reach out to HTC about the stormwater master plan, status, and haven't heard anything back. But we had our working session a few weeks ago. We'll expect something back on that shortly. As far as Old Plank Road easement, I'll let Roy.
Sure.
I'll be brief,
I guess.
Roy's been working on some of those issues and working on those easements.
So it's been a couple months back when we were talking about, and board authorized moving forward with that to resolve what appeared to be an issue there on the Keel property. And with the rain event that Joe mentioned, it was just, I mean, quite significant. You guys probably remember. There was flooding all over town, but in this location, the amount of water standing was further back than what we had anticipated, and it was really minimal at that point. And so we just had some discussions between Brian, I, and Joe, and I think one of his pictures. That's necessary, but I think we talked to Joe about it. We mutually said, let's not pursue that any farther. But actually, one property over it is an area that I think we talked about, but we weren't necessarily moving ahead with easements there. And so Joe and all of us just kind of said, hey, we need to switch gears and go over here with our easements. So I have a layout that just kind of shows that. I think Joe had mentioned maybe, understanding what the cost might be. And yeah, but this is more or less the property down the catch basin here from street frontage. And this is storm sewer underneath the walk, the sidewalk there. And we have easement here for water work, but obviously it's higher. So it's right in here. Yep. This is where the water's standing in the tree. Yep. So this is about 105 feet. Yellow's property lines. So the property lines are perpendicular. It would be about 105 feet with 2 catch basins. I really think you're going to stay within the same budgetary thought that you were thinking. For the limit was like 2,500. Yep. Yeah, Joe's pulling up a little area here, shovel, which the trees kind of hurt. Trying to see exactly what's going on. There we are.
There you go, man.
Yeah. So, this is the area that originally it's really down here where I see. So there is a catch basin here. We would have to kind of run a driveway, which this is gravel right now. And we would come down behind this. And we would just kind of leave it property. So again, it's probably less than $1,000 in material costs. With Brian, and so I've discussed it with him, and he's feeling like that's, I believe, within his capabilities. I didn't get with him after I saw this was on the agenda, unfortunately, but I think we're still talking about the same ballpark to resolve it, and it does stand with water.
Brian's been a bit of an enigma the past few weeks. Anniversary date's coming up, which means, which also means we need to use PTO. So,
Yeah. That's about it. If there's further questions or issues, we'll just continue to proceed with the easements. When we're about that area, under his seal. But
So purchasing more easement.
it would, yes, we would need about a 10-foot permanent easement, and we're asking for 7.5-foot permanent with an additional 2.5 to give temporary, to give a little extra work parallel to the existing easement. So unless the property owners don't want us to fix their drainage problem,
Yeah.
but obviously it should be a good fix to connect to that existing storm catch basin and resolve the situation.
On the original complaint, we could do some regrading work in the existing easement. I think that may have helped that area a lot.
Yeah, I think the issue, right, I mentioned that. Right, guys, we're trying of Nancy Keelan's place to get more of the water on the driveway, heading towards the catch basin there. So hopefully that's gonna happen.
Yep, sounds good. I'll continue on that.
Thank you.
Thank you. You want to give us an easement there, we'll help out. Not, give a couple mosquito dunks.
Put some municipal bathhouses.
It's a little bad. Off the record. Off the record.
It's clear. Sure. Next item is South Park, Baldwin Street rear yard drain, which is definition of a mess. We're continuing with Brian on that. I don't know if Brian's crews are gonna be able to handle the extent of what's gonna need to happen through there. We did have some discussion with Stormwater Management Plan about some design on that. Staff intends to follow up with that discussion. Once we have a potential solution, bring that to the board for some kind of action. If we do want to move forward with this. Unfortunately, there's not great kind of quick thing to do. There's something we tried that. We tried getting out the existing line, excavated, found fiber line that could have hit our pipe more times if they tried to hit our pipe. But the pipe is a clay pipe. Not easy locating, so. We're going to continue to work on that and hopefully bring something of substance back to for the board to consider. I think one other kind of throw on item, Roy brought up the band leading kind of design and forebay thing they kind of were working on. Seems to be some issues with that, with how it sits. Roy and I are going to try to get with BAM and try and see what's going on there, see if there's any more work that needs to happen.
Drive up there and take a look at it.
Yeah, we have been made aware of the issue downstream of there. I don't think it's caused by the Bantam pavement. There's a lot of erosion and scouring in that ditch downstream. So I'll be meeting with more than likely Roy to see what we can do there. It's the ditch has gone from having a straight ditch to a meandering.
Make it turn and scours it out even more.
Into the lake.
Yeah, it scours out. The gentleman has already had his chimney foundation shored. You kind of see, where that was once a straight shot. I mean, obviously it's happened over a number of years. So look forward to that being on your agenda at some point.
I've spoken with my neighbor and he couldn't make the meeting tonight. And to take care of personal things, but anyway, yeah, it's not like I'm not next door, so.
We have the advantage of having someone that's intimately familiar with that. So.
Now, we had talked previously about having to reline that culvert there too, right? Because it's kind of rotted out the bottom of it there.
It needs to be replaced at some point.
Replace, reline.
Yeah, something. It'd probably be cheapest just to replace it since it's a shorter stretch and versus trying to have something come in line. But yeah, there's, I know we talked about this and, you know, over a long course of time. So,
Yeah, I would imagine that's gonna be over our kind of administrative spending item. So once we kind of take a look at that and figure out what our recommendation is for a solution, we'll bring that back to the board.
yeah. I'm happy to meet whenever you can, Joe, and you guys come out, Kent or whenever, just give me a shout.
Yeah, I'll try to figure out a time and a date and send out an invite. We can go.
That'd be great.
You know,
Yeah, I'd like to get this.
stormwater board is allowed field work sessions, field sessions.
Nope, we'll do that.
Thanks, guys.
That is all items of business I had, other than the treasurer report and the claims. Quite that, we didn't have a meeting last month, so there's a stack of claims,
Didn't see anything exorbitant, so.
nothing really out of the ordinary.
I'll move to approve the claims as presented.
All right, I'll second that, so I got a motion and a second to approve the monthly claims as presented. Any further discussion? Those in favor say aye. 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 Motion passes 2-0.
Just other staff updates, Tim and I are attending the MS4 conference in a couple weeks. The Indiana MS4 Alliance, I'm not sure exactly what they're called. But we'll be up there at that. Jacob with Wessler will be in town next week, I want to say, this week or next week, to discuss our new MS4 general permit and our ordinance updates from there. Yeah, Jacob's gonna be here Wednesday. Talk about that, and then on May 10th, it's the Indiana MS4 Partnership Annual Meeting. Tim and I will be attending.
All right, anything else?
Bills from staff.
Everybody left. They didn't want to hear what we had to say.
We answered all the questions.
There you go.
All right,
And I move to adjourn.
I'll second that. It's got a motion and a second to adjourn. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes 2-0. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.